I mean, you can hop in and out of the screen. I don't particularly. I won't be offended. You know?
Put the label out there.
What's that? Put the label out there. We gotta get that Wingstop. That Wingstop shit. Alright, so we'll do a little bit of this action so that we know. I'm about to cut the audio right there. Alright. Hello, fans, friends, and enemies of the internet. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Peeridium Podcast. My name is Outbreak. I'm one of your hosts. I'm joined today by
Mojave
and
Keela.
Alright, so what is on the agenda today? Let's start with movies. So, got some DC news, right? Saw Birds of Prey. I believe I talked about on the last episode. Now I saw it this past weekend. All right, Birds of Prey, good movie. It was a lot of fun, but it did effing terrible. It got like 33 million. It basically bombed. I think it was like the worst DC movie release since like, what was it? Van Helsing or one of those types of movies.
Really?
Jonah Hex.
It got such good like reviews on both sides.
It did. Yeah, it did. So I think as well as DC apparently that has to do with the name. This is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. So super long name, and for anybody that's not like an actual comic fan, Birds of Prey, they're not going to know what the hell that is. And Harley Quinn's at the very end of a long name that people will lose track of before they're even done reading it.
And the guy already said he wasn't changing it.
Yeah, so, but they did change it for movie outlets. So, like, if you go on Fandango, if you go on Cinemark, AMC, DC, I guess, or Warner Brothers requested that they change the name to just Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. So they kind of streamlined it. They're not changing the official title.
A DC comic story. Birds of Prey.
Yeah, right. And I get it, and I understand the marketing is a big portion of something like that. And so many movies come out, like Sonic's about to come out. It comes out tonight as of the time we're recording this. So I get it. But, like, how did that get through, like, the quality assurance and stuff? Like, who was like, this is going to be a great name? And then they worked it up the chain, and they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, that's going to work. And then somebody stamped their seal of approval on it and was like, 100%. This is going to put asses in seats. No, it's not. And it didn't. And I feel bad because the movie was a lot of fun. I feel like it was an unnecessary R rating. They definitely, I mean, it was R, but I feel like the stuff that they put in it, like, felt kind of forced. It was all cursing and then, like, a little bit of excessive violence. I feel like they should have done more. Like, once you hit R, you have a large threshold before you hit, like, NC-17 or whatever the rating would be by today's standards. So it's like, they should have gone a little bit harder, but I guess I also understand that they know there's going to be kids that want to see it, and then it's, you know, parents' discretion. Parents are going to take their kids to see it either way. I took my kids to see it, and it wasn't too bad. I only had to turn them away in one part, but yeah. I don't know. I hope the movie starts doing better. We're John M321. We're talking about Birds of Prey. And how they changed the name for the ticketing outlets to just Harley Quinn Birds of Prey from that obnoxiously long name. But yeah, the movie was good. I hope it does more and stays in theaters a little while longer because I'd like to see them make a sequel to it. I liked all the characters that they introduced in the film. Margot Robbie is very invested in Harley Quinn. You can tell she's just very passionate about the character. So I think... I think we will see more. We'll definitely get Suicide Squad 2. I know that's deep into production. But I'd like to see more of this concept of film, DC taking chances with these characters. I mean, Shazam was kind of a gamble, and that was successful and a pretty solid movie. So hopefully they continue to take chances and put themselves out on a limb and introduce these new characters. And, we got dogs trying to join in on the podcast. All right. But yeah, so name change, I feel like they should have called that before it ever came out. Yeah. They should have been, before they even announced the movie officially, they should have said, is this the right name? No, let's name it this. I mean, it really is a Harley Quinn movie at heart, so. But, here we are. And while we're talking about DC, this is currently trending on Twitter. I just checked a few minutes ago. They did footage of Robert Pattinson in the Batman suit. I'm not sure if you got the chance to look at it. It's like a 45-second clip.
I have not, no.
So it's real dim lit. It's got like a nice like background noise to it to like just get you hyped, and it's pretty cool. I think Robert Pattinson is an extremely good actor. I think that he's going to do a good job in the role, and I'm excited for the movie. And the Batsuit looks cool. Like it looks like they're going the right direction with it, at least from this first thing. Like it's going to be dark and kind of ominous. So definitely check that out when you get a chance. Did you watch it before?
Nah, I haven't.
Y'all are trash. I put this document together.
I still to this day
links.
think Marvel should be the
Super
PG-13 like comic book series, and then all DC shit should be rated R because their stories are so much darker.
Yeah, they are. And I feel like we might get to that part. But if Birds of Prey is the testing the waters of that, then they're not going to do it much more often.
Because DC, I mean, they just like they tried to be Marvel for so long, and then Deadpool and then Logan and all those like legit like rough movies have gone so well, and you're like,
yeah, it was definitely there was that rough patch where they were trying to follow that Marvel formula, and I think the fact that they brought out like Batman vs Superman and Justice League when they did was because they were trying to ride off that high of the MCU being where it was and being as successful as it was, but they weren't. I don't think they were taking into account that the MCU had been building up for 8 to 10 years prior to when they decided to jump on board. And, like, you can't just release...
Three movies try to cover the same amount of content.
Yeah, there was so much character building, universe building across all those films. Yeah, sure. And then they say...
And then they kill their main character.
Right, and then they go, alright, let's just start with Batman vs. Superman, one of the biggest conflicts in the thing. Like, let's not go... Right. Yeah, and then that movie was just... I can watch it, but that's about all I can do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel good about the Batman. I wonder what they're going to do with like Jared Leto being out, the fact that now, Ben Affleck's changed. I know the Flash movie's supposed to be based on the Flashpoint storyline, so they may use that to transition into another timeline or something like that to justify why Batman's changed and Joker's changed.
Especially since the legit Flash was on The Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know he's supposed to be sticking around. I think Gal is sticking around as Wonder Woman. Shazam will probably be back. I think Cavill has not confirmed, but kind of said like he's still going to continue to be Superman. So if they do Flashpoint, I mean, they could just do Thomas Wayne, who from Batman v Superman was Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And if they wanted to do that continuity and the Batman just be its own standalone thing, like the Joker movie.
I just want my Man of Steel too, man.
The Man of Steel is really good. I don't know why that movie gets so much hate.
It's so good.
I guess if you're a Superman purist and Superman can't kill or whatever, but it's like they play it out right. They do it the right way. Like, it's not like he like killed him. He's like, yeah, like I'm a murderer. Like they did that story the best way they could have, in my opinion.
For sure.
That's still one of my favorite.
Pretty dark Superman stories.
Yeah, like I don't like Superman at all, and that's one of my favorite DC movies.
Oh, for sure, that's by far one of my favorites.
Like Superman's too OP and he's lame, but I enjoyed that. So, the Mighty Ducks. I'm sure you guys watched the Mighty Ducks as kids.
Yeah.
They're doing a reboot for Disney Plus. Doing like a TV series, probably following the same structure that they've done with some of their other stuff that's been announced and come out. So I'm guessing maybe 8 to 10 episodes, probably follow like a sitcom style thing. I don't know. But Emilio Estevez is back as the coach, which I think is pretty cool. And it always, anytime I hear about the Mighty Ducks, it reminds me of Night at the Roxbury, the Will Ferrell comedy, when they're using that as a pickup line, how they saw Emilio Estevez one time. That shit's hilarious.
My goalie friend was having a rough life.
Yeah. So it was a pretty light movie news week. There wasn't a whole lot for like TV shows and movies. Nothing that really concerns.
That there was a few trailers I hit today actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Iron Mask. That's
who's in that? It's like
Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan. Yeah.
I gotta watch that. I saw like a thumbnail for it.
It looks fun. I'll
have to check that out. What is it? Like, what's the premise of it?
It's like it's basically like I guess like a Chinese Western kind of sort of, with like dragons and stuff. It's really like fantasy and like Western put together. Yeah. And it's fantastical, but it looks like a lot of fun. It looks ridiculous.
There's going to be a point where like those guys just fall apart while they're playing their roles because they do. I know Jackie Chan's injured himself pretty severely doing his own stunts.
Yeah,
and
so
they're still.
Tom Cruise did himself pretty bad on the last Mission Impossible when he broke his foot or something.
Yeah, like eventually they're just going to crumble. Like one set, they're going to do like a small stunt, jumping over a fence or something, and just dust.
Yeah, that was another movie that was really weird. It was about like King Arthur, his nephew, killing some like Groot-looking knight. It was weird. I didn't know what the hell I was watching.
Is that a different trailer? Or is that? Oh, okay.
It was called The Green Knight.
Huh. Like the Green Ranger, bro.
Yeah, Tommy.
Dude, Tommy was always the best ranger.
Oh yeah. All right, so we'll transition over to games. Did you see the stuff? I know you're a Resident Evil fan, like myself. Did you see the stuff about Project Resistance?
About the guy behind how you can pick different people and they have different stuff.
Yeah, so they announced Alex Wesker and Oswald Spencer.
Yeah, so it was the CEO or one of the founding fathers of Umbrella.
Right.
And then it was Albert Wesker, right?
Yep. Yeah. Alex Wesker.
Alex Wesker. Is
that
the son?
No,
that's the wife, right? It was the wife.
It's a female. Yeah. So they were. It seems like they're really hyping that up, and I like that it doesn't seem like it's going to be this cookie cutter game like well, I forget what the one was called, Umbrella Corps, and Operation Raccoon City. Like it seems like they're actually making this like a full-fledged game, and it's going to be part of Resident Evil 3.
It looks like it's going to be like a harder version of Dead by Daylight, kind of like because you can just spawn like stuff wherever, and then
I just
close
like
the door, zombie.
It seems like so when they first announced it, I was bummed because I thought we were going to get a Outbreak remaster or something about Resident Evil 8 or what have you. I mean, the way they were hyping it up, it was like that it was going to be this multiplayer thing. So I was thinking, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that type of game would work great today. And then when they announced what it was, I was like, ah, shit. But then they said, oh, it's going to be part of Resident Evil 3. And I was like, oh, all right, well, definitely on board for that because I'm getting it as part of the package I'm already buying, so I'll definitely invest some time in it. And now it seems like they're really like going full steam ahead with it and making it. It seems like it has a lot of potential.
It's crazy. It's almost already here. I mean, it's next month. Joe told me Resident Evil 3 is coming out next month, but nah, fam.
Yeah, I was watching some Doom footage that they just released. I think IGN dropped it yesterday. And it's, I forget what the game mode's called, but it's 2-on-1. And 2 people play as the demons, and then 1 person plays as the Doomslayer. And when you're the demons, you have, like, certain number of resources that you can drop, so, like, smaller scale enemies. And then basically you have to work together with your partner and try to defeat the Doomslayer. But the Doomslayer has like access to like any weapons in the loadout and that kind of a thing. So it seems like that's going to be pretty hype. And since Doom's so fast paced, it'll probably be a simple game to like jump in, jump out. You don't have to really. It's not going to be like 45-minute matches or anything like that. Like it'll probably be pretty quick, 10-15-minute rounds at best. But that looks super hype. And that game's a month away. It's like mid-March it's coming out. I think it's March 20th.
Yeah, dude, March is going to be a good month.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So we'll get to... There's a couple pieces of big news on here. We'll start with GeForce Now. So that's one of those streaming platforms like... I forget the Xbox one. Does anybody know what that's called? The Xbox streaming service. It's like part of...
Is it Game Pass?
No, it's not Game Pass. They have like their own streaming service. I can't think of the name of that, but it's kind of like what they're doing with... Stadia. So it's like Stadia. GeForce has their own, GeForce Now, and apparently Blizzard Activision just said, yeah, we're taking all our games off your service. So that's a big hit for them. But GeForce was like gaining a lot of steam by being a better version of what Stadia was supposed to be, because GeForce Now was doing it a lot better and more efficiently. But now they're losing like some key titles. I mean, that's if they had it on the platform, that's Overwatch, it's Diablo 3, it's Call of Duty. So that's a big hit for them. I think really where we're at right now is like that streaming platform service, on-demand games, like a Netflix for video games. I think we're not there yet. and I think that's why these are flopping.
I think it's one of those things that will eventually take traction.
Yeah.
Like, as long as
if there's no input lag, everybody would want it.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to, is improving the user, like, interaction with it. Like, if you can reduce that input time, you can build, like, bigger backbones, like the different countries, and reduce it.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the setback currently is just the amount of people that you consider that are in areas where internet has data caps. There's just not fast enough service. I know we've got a buddy out from down in the land down under, and I know he has some connectivity problems. So I think, like, just in general, internet speeds and efficiency isn't where it needs to be for those types of services to be accessible by the masses. So you're already limiting your fan base, and those people. I can understand, like, if you're somebody with an Xbox and wanting to do that from your Xbox that you already have, but for something like Stadia, it's like, why would I buy that? If I'm a gamer, I'm already going to have a console and stuff. There's not going to be any appeal to that type of service. So I don't think they were really catering to any specific audience. They were just like, let's drop this and go with it, and we're Google, and we're going to abandon the project like we do everything else. And that seems to be where it's at, but I don't think the future of GeForce Now looks bright when they just lost some of the heaviest hitters in the game's business from their catalog indefinitely. I don't know if it'll come back or why they lost it. I don't know if it was a political thing between them and Blizzard Activision, or
I don't think it was political. I think it rolls into your next topic.
My next topic, which is...
Bro, I wish Blizzard would just leave Activision.
Update size.
Yeah, right. So, Call of Duty had a massive update of like 68 gigs the other day. Yeah. And it was trending. Everybody was all pissed. Because, that's the size of GTA 5. Like,
just,
that's a big ass
bro.
2 maps,
that's
2 operators, and 2 guns with 68 gigs for PC. It's like, what?
Yeah. So apparently there's like a thing that's classified in the menu, and everybody's assuming that's going to be a Battle Royale mode, which I know was pretty successful in Black Ops 4, 5. What was the last Black Ops? 12?
16.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. But that was pretty fun. Yeah,
they said they were going to do one with this one. It's just been a long time coming.
Yeah, but I can understand if, like, that's it, and they're just, like, waiting for whatever day to be like, all right, it's live.
Bro.
Just out of the blue.
Rust is a huge map, all right?
Rust is not a huge map.
Bro, 1v1 me on Rust.
It's an 8K.
I'll lose so bad.
It's 12K textures on everything.
Right. But that'll be exciting. I know that a lot of my friends that play Call of Duty were hooked on that for a while. Like, that's all they played. They didn't even play the other standard multiplayer and whatnot. They were just playing the blackout mode, like, nonstop. So if they're doing that Modern Warfare, I think Modern Warfare is a solid title and one of the best Call of Duty games that's ever come out in the history of the franchise. So it'll be exciting to see how that plays and if it's as good as the rest of the quality of the game.
This most recent Call of Duty has definitely been probably the better one in a long time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's awesome because it also has the limited, they're not doing like the DLC maps at a cost, like that's all included and being rolled out as updates. So I think it's cool that they cut back on that and still put out a game that's good. I know some of the updates though have caused issues. There's one that like broke the game a few weeks ago.
Yeah, there was plenty. There's always issues. Yeah. I mean, there was like plenty of them where like you'd get challenges that you couldn't do at that because it just wouldn't let you do it.
Right.
Like you would do your progress during that map, and then like you would see it go up, and then you would get out of that lobby, and then it would go back to what it used to be.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, but it's cool that we're actually getting. If this is an indication that they're going in the right direction, then it'll be cool to see what the future of this title and the franchise in general holds. I think last episode we talked about how they announced the next game, but they didn't announce who the dev was for it yet. So I don't know if that's something they're keeping under wraps on purpose, because I think it was pretty obvious it was going to be Treyarch. Is that who's up next?
I think so.
Yeah, but because I know they just rotated out.
Infinity Ward just released this one, so it's usually Treyarch. So.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe maybe Ukes, who's made like the WWE games, is taking over. Like they're just gonna drop a bombshell. Oh, Psyonix. Harmonix, developer of Guitar Hero, they're gonna come through and drop the next Call of Duty.
I remember when Blizzard trolled me on April Fool's Day one time, and I believed them, and I didn't realize it. They said they were releasing a new class, and it was called the Bard, and you basically played like Guitar Hero to fight. And I was like, dude, that sounds sick. And then I was like, oh shit, it's April Fool's Day.
Dude, game devs and like especially the magazines and stuff have always done like the best shit for April Fools.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was April Fool's. It had to be. Last year, all like the Ubisoft games had certain variations, and Siege had this awesome one where it was the plane map, and it was decorated like a kid's room. Like the plane was supposed to be like a toy plane, and all your characters were like action figures. And then the hostage was like in a teddy bear costume or some shit. It was pretty fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's cool that they go all in on that kind of stuff, because it's always like limited events and things like that.
Did you see the former Starbreeze executive was convicted of insider trading?
No.
Right before they had that merger.
No.
He sold a bunch of shares and he got convicted. It's nuts.
That's risky business, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks because Payday, that's a solid franchise.
Okay, I was trying to piece together what that was, but yeah, that's crazy. And he was still with the company, right? Like in leading role or a leadership role.
I don't think it says exactly who it is. Just as an executive.
Okay, but I mean, he was still like affiliated with the company at the time. Like they came, he was in the office one day, and they came in like, "Hey, bruh, come on out. We boys, we got him."
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
We got him.
Right. So, this is news that I know you'll like. So Disney basically put out like a call to arms to get more game developers on board to do like reimaginings of some of their existing stories and characters, in response to the success of Jedi Fallen Order.
That's pretty sick.
So, and I know we talked about last episode, the Knights of the Old Republic possibly coming back.
Seeing Shadows of... no, it's not Shadows. Is it Shadows? I'm drawing a blank, but like one of the original... Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing that again would be amazing. I mean, there's a guy that's like kind of redid it as like a fan. Like,
I've seen that he did. Like,
and to see a new like what are they called? I'm drawing such a blank right now, but the space fighting game where you're like in the X-wing, Rogue Squadron.
Okay.
Seeing another Rogue Squadron would be so sick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
like a modern day Rogue Squadron, like Ace Combat but Star Wars, that'd be so sick.
Right. Yeah, it would be cool to see them, for one, familiarize a new generation with existing licenses that we grew up with, or even maybe the generation before us. It'd be awesome to see them bring those back, like they did with Battlefront, but hopefully more successful.
Give us a new pod racer.
Oh, dude, I'd be down for that. I love
new arcade pod racer. That would be cool.
Oh man, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But it gives them a chance to reintroduce some of the non-canon stuff from the extended universe, like they're talking about doing the Knights of the Old Republic.
Or just make new stories from the extended universe that no one's seen before.
Right.
There's so much extended.
I just get a Plagueis game, just get killed right at the end.
Yeah, just like there's just so much like material there from extended universe, like that you can never stop.
Let me play as Baby Yoda.
Like
hell yeah,
like the Mandalorian. That game was great.
Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. Got two mixed up.
Wait a minute, bro.
Yeah, that game was amazing.
You're talking about the fan-made Flash game, The Mandalorian?
That game was fun, but something like that, like I know 1313 was really hyped up and stuff, and then they got canceled.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always the chance that stuff could come back, but it's just a matter of like the right person.
But having
saying, I want this to happen.
Like a Han Solo game would be so sweet. Or you're a smuggler.
I mean, that's basically the story of Shadows of the Empire, and Dash Rendar is one of my favorite.
Dash Rendar, or even bring Kyle Katarn back. That would be sick too.
Absolutely.
Have another Jedi Academy or Jedi Outcast.
That would be real sick, especially multiplayer and stuff like that.
But if they are for real remaking like Coder, Knights of the Old Republic,
Yeah.
and like bringing like 1 and 2 together and making it like a whole new game. That would be so awesome.
Absolutely.
As long as the storytelling is good.
Yeah.
Or I'll have a connection.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the chance, but I feel like when it comes to stuff like the games, there's a bit of a... I feel like they have more creative freedom, because it's not this huge movie that's going to try to set records and stuff like that. And I think that's what happened with Jedi Fallen Order. I don't feel like when you play that game and you follow the story of it, it doesn't seem like it was under this like Kathleen Kennedy stranglehold.
That's for sure.
Like they had more...
there was actually character development in that game, and like at the end, it was just so good. That was one of my favorite all-time like video game moments.
Yeah.
That like was like borderline like when I played Knights of the Old Republic, the first one, and you got that huge plot twist that I never in a million years saw coming.
Yeah, so it'll be cool to see who even ends up getting the rights. And it was Disney that made this call, so it's not necessarily only Star Wars stuff. I'm sure that's going to be a big focus because even the Battlefronts have been successful, and there's still a strong player base for Battlefront 2. So
yeah,
it'll be cool to see what studios get them, because we could get some indie studios, or like people that really put a lot of passion and all into their storytelling. Sure. We might even get some unique like RPG style stuff or side scroller, even like the old like Super Star Wars on SNES. Might get something like that from some modern day indie dev, like somebody made Dead Cells or something along those lines. So that'd be pretty sick.
Dead Cells just had a DLC come out.
Yeah, I saw that. I need to get back into it. Dead Cells is a fantastic game. All right. So really, just have one more topic on the agenda here, and this is kind of a thing we could probably go into balls deep in discussion with. So, Jeff Keighley's not attending E3 2020.
E3 is just dead, dude.
It is, yeah. So
Microsoft is the only thing that's keeping it afloat.
Absolutely. He said that he wasn't going to do Coliseum. It was like kind of a catch-all. So he said he wasn't going to do Coliseum because he didn't feel like it was going to be like up to fans' expectations. It wasn't going to be appealing or pleasing enough to the attendance. And I don't recall seeing his stuff. It's probably like outside of the press conferences, probably like a side thing he does. I'm sure it's live streamed and everything, but I don't recall his presence at E3. But it seems like it's big enough that it was headline news. But I mean, obviously he's been a huge name in games media for a long time. He was on G4 TV. He was on Spike TV. He's the host of the Game Awards and is pretty much a key role in putting that together every year. So E3 losing a figure like that is a big deal, because when somebody like that makes a big move, then their followers tend to follow suit. So I'm sure there's going to be some people out there who look forward to Coliseum every year that may straight up not tune in to E3, or maybe they're planning on attending in person and they're not going to attend now. They're just going to watch at home on Twitch or what have you. And I know E3 tickets are not cheap. So if even a few people decide they're not going to go because of him not going, then that's probably a few grand in revenue that they're not bringing in. And even if that person tunes in, ad revenue on Twitch or YouTube or whatever is not going to even come close to those numbers. So it's a big loss for E3. It's been on a pretty
steady,
steep, like it's. I mean, they lost Sony.
I mean, as soon as everybody started branching off and doing their own thing, it's just
it's like the Star Destroyer on Force Unleashed.
Yeah, there's tons of other games conventions that do this type of stuff. Like I know there's a lot of games presence at CES. There's PAX, East and West. There's smaller conventions that do a lot of focus on showcasing like indie titles and that kind of a thing. Some, I think, I know Kinda Funny does like an indie game showcase, and I think like Rooster Teeth might even do something like that. So there's even like media people, people that have their own like content creators and stuff that have their kind of thing as well. So E3, I guess, is in a sense is a dead platform, or a dying platform.
It's dead.
But it sucks because that's like, I mean, since I was a kid, I looked forward, like when G4 started covering it every year I was tuned in all week. And it was always in the summer, so it was off school. You know, it's been 3 or 4 days just watching game trailers and footage and interviews, and now it's like we're less and less excited. There's less and less to follow. I mean, I'm sure we'll get together. We'll probably watch Microsoft's press conference. We'll probably watch a couple and maybe do a podcast or two about it. But it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to ever be the same.
It's not E3 anymore, especially like Sony not going again.
Yeah.
And then him leaving, which is like a huge name in like gaming, like the shows in general.
Yeah.
He does the awards each year.
Yeah, and even some of the stuff that's announced E3 week. Like Nintendo does their Direct, but last year it wasn't part of E3, I don't think. So Microsoft was really it. And then you had like Devolver, like theirs is always pretty entertaining. PC Gamer was really the only other thing.
There's the only other ones that are going to be there.
Right. And then you'll have the main developers, your Activisions, your Ubisofts, but most of their big titles are going to be in like Microsoft's press conference, or this year, since we're getting new hardware, at some point between now and then, we're going to get a PS5 reveal. We're going to get...
I guess Ubisoft will be their PlayStation again this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy, but
how many Super Hot trailers we're gonna see? And
Super Hot.
Dude, I want a Super Hot Stadia. Stadia better do a press conference at E3. And then they'll announce at the very end of it, like, also we're shutting down our platform effective immediately.
We're gonna have Google with like a 3 at the end, so it'll be like Google E3.
Yeah. Like how most places will say, you can play this game right now. You can play the demo right now. Google's going to be like, you can throw your Stadia away right now. Your whole Chromecast and controller.
Worldwide exclusive. Trash can opens up. Stadia goes in.
I have a feeling that, especially like Devolver, they'll probably riff on that quite a bit. Like the streaming service type of thing. They'll probably make a joke. Because they're just a huge farce of everything that goes on at E3, so they'll probably be like, and now Devolver's streaming service is like how they had the coins a couple years ago, the Devolver coins.
Did you see that Mythic Quest TV show was a weird?
I haven't watched it. Is it good?
No, like I thought it was a joke.
Oh yeah, it just got renewed for a second season.
I thought it was a joke.
It's
last year, I literally thought it was just a joke skit.
You're talking about the thing with the guy from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, and then I saw commercials like of him and like doing like making a game or whatever. I was like, this is real? Holy hell!
Yeah,
it looks hilarious,
I don't know. I mean, it was popular enough to get a second season. I know I like read some kind of mixed feelings from people online. I have a feeling it's probably solid. Yeah. I mean, the writing crew behind it, he's funny. I feel like it's probably a solid show.
Yeah, I'll have to hook it up and check it out.
Yeah, so that's a big loss for E3, and I have like no doubts that by like 2025, maybe sooner, E3 may just not exist.
Cancel.
Yeah. Or it could just become this thing where it's like a very small scale, like it's just press conferences. I mean, it used to be only open to the media. So it may be something like that in a smaller convention center and just indies, like more of an indie thing. I don't know. But I definitely think it's going to be... Microsoft's going to drop out eventually and start their own.
That's probably going to happen next year. After I feel like the attendance this year is going to be way down.
Yeah.
That it hasn't been in the previous years, but... And
depending on the focus of the SX, the Xbox Series X, if they really continue to push the Microsoft streaming service, they continue to push this thing of how like you can access most of the games on Xbox One and Xbox Series X, and they're going to have like Halo coming out and that kind of a thing. I mean, next year they may have enough to be like, yeah, let's just do our own thing. Let's do Microsoft Entertainment Expo or whatever, and that's that. And once they drop out, it's all but. That's the nail in the coffin. There's no way
I think
Ubisoft, Activision, and all showing off their games is going to pull enough of a crowd when those games are playable everywhere at every, trade show and what have you.
I think Sony dropping out was basically the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's like half the base. I mean...
Yeah, I know that it was like when somebody... It was either on like an interview or something, or maybe like a YouTube video... Somebody's like walking the show floor and said like, yeah, here's where Sony used to be. And it was like a mishmash of all these different things. Like Sony had so much real estate on the E3 floor.
Oh, sure. I mean, the amount of PlayStations they've sold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It's almost double what Xbox has.
Nintendo Switch is catching up though. They just passed like 50 million units sold or something like that, and I think
Nintendo knows how to make a system. That's for sure.
That's wild, man. I mean, we're about to have our third Nintendo Switch when the Animal Crossing one comes out after coronavirus blows over. Yeah. It got delayed.
I heard.
Yeah, I guess I should have put that on the thing. Yeah, Animal Crossing Switch got delayed. I don't know. Did they announce like a time frame?
Officially, I don't think
until they repopulate China. Yeah, that's wild shit.
Did you see Anthem's getting completely rehauled?
Yes, that's something. Yeah, I knew there was a big news topic. Yeah, I saw, and I think it's good.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good.
Does it look good what they're doing with it?
Anthem's a gorgeous game.
Yeah, it really is.
And the gameplay is not bad. It's just you literally have 3 creatures to kill and 3 dungeons where you're doing exactly the same thing over and over again. I think the problem that I see with the Anthem, what they're doing with Anthem, is that they've lost like everybody on the team. Like the creative director just stepped out like a month ago. Yeah.
So I have a feeling that like it's probably like shit is in shambles at their studio right now. So I don't know. I don't have confidence that it's going to be like how Destiny did the Taken King, and that kind of like kickstarted the fire for it. Yeah, and it was pretty much full steam ahead from there. I'm not confident that that's going to happen with Anthem, but I would like it to, because I was hyped for Anthem like everybody when we saw the trailers and the game looked promising, and then I heard after everybody I know played it, they were basically either like, it's trash, or like, there's not enough to do in it. It was like, that was it. I didn't hear anybody like, oh, Anthem is fucking awesome. Like,
it was a good game, but there was literally nothing to do.
Like
you were doing the same thing over and over again.
I like how they had like the flight mechanics and the javelins and stuff like that.
Javelins were cool.
I picked it up recently for like $5. Yeah, so when they drop this new content, I am all down to hop on and
like, it was a good game when you're leveling up and stuff, but as soon as you get to 30, it's like there's like nothing to do.
Yeah, and that sucks because that's not at all how the game was pitched. Like, the game was pitched to be this game with...
And the story wasn't even that captivating, in my opinion. I thought it was, like, mediocre storytelling.
And then one more thing while it's fresh on my mind. They just announced the collector's editions for Avengers. And I wasn't, like, that wasn't a day one purchase for me. But Best Buy has a steelbook for it, and I might just buy it because that steelbook is sick.
Did you see the... gameplay trailer?
Yeah, that dropped today.
Yeah.
I didn't get the chance to watch it yet. I was looking at the articles that were showcasing the collectibles and stuff. I saw they were doing like a legacy costume kind of thing where you can have like original Avengers skins rather than like the lame ass look that they all have. But in the $200 collector's edition, the statue is the game version of Captain America, who I think is the most lame looking out of all of them. So I was like, that's not a buy for me. And it comes with a basic steelbook that just has like the Avengers A on it. But Best Buy has an exclusive one if you pre-order, and it's sick. It's got all the characters on it. I'm actually gonna look it up and show you guys because it's that sick. Before we hop off of here, what's up, Nugget?
It's a game. I'm a little torn. Like, I definitely want to play it, but I feel like they have a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not really my type of game, so I feel like I'm not going to have as good of a time with it as I want to, but, I mean, Square Enix puts out good games, for the most part. We're not going to talk about The Quiet Man. But, I have confidence that it's going to...
I thought you would,
at least be solid.
I feel like that's up your alley, though. Co-op,
yeah, I don't know. To me, it looks like
hordes of people and then fighting a big boss.
Like quick time.
Yeah, it looks very cinematic. Yeah. It looks very like Resident Evil 6 cinematic, and I'm not on board with that. Nugget, chill out.
It depends how the combat is, obviously.
I can't get the search in right now.
It depends how good the combat system is, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's going to end up at least being worth the purchase, but I don't know. I'm hesitant to jump on board. I do think I'll end up pre-ordering it. Damn, why do they not have pictures on here? I do think that I don't think I'm going to buy it and be like, oh, I never should have spent money on this. But I just think I'm not going to love it like I do like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And a lot of people will probably be like, wow, this man's an idiot for saying that, because I know that Ultimate Alliance is not nearly on par with like the epic experience it looks like this game's going to offer. But I prefer that more simple, like, just kicking ass and taking names, and that's that. That's all I need. I don't need this, like, Wakanda, what was it called? Oh, Sokovia Accords. Okay. I don't need that type of thing. I don't need that type of story in my game. What the hell? Dude, it's like Mandela effect. The Steelbook just doesn't exist now. I don't know what happened to it.
It's probably like a render. It probably wasn't like the actual...
Right. I don't know what happened. I probably saw it on Twitter.
It was a concept Steelbook.
Right. This image is not final, but it looked like the cover. Oh, here we go. Hell yeah. Look at that.
That's pretty sweet.
That is sick. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I love that it has like, it looks like a comic book cover. I was like, I feel like I might have to get it. I might have to buy it for this damn Steelbook, and then hopefully I love it. I want to love it. I hope I love it just as much as Ultimate Alliance or any of the other games from this generation that have blown me away. Yeah. I'm just not confident I will. But I'm going to go in with an open mind, and I'm either going to love it or I'm going to be like, this feels to me like the experience I had when I played Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm never going to beat this game.
Dude, that game was so good. So much
I
fun.
really want to beat that game because I want to see the story through, but I just suck at it. Even on the easiest difficulty, I suck.
I beat it on Grand Jedi Master, dude.
I'm so bad at it.
It took a while.
I'm basically AIDS at that game.
It's not that hard, dog. Just
alright. Y'all got anything else for the show?
Just hit block with it.
No, I don't like the block.
We got a new Sprite that was announced. A Ginger.
I saw it. I saw it at the store today. I was debating, and I was like, I don't know. But I mean, Ginger goes well with sweet stuff and whatnot. I feel like it's probably
Ginger for beer.
And then, of course, the KFC Crocs that were announced.
Oh, dude, that's
those
crazy.
Are real?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, this man bought these KFC logs in his whole trunk.
Yeah.
Like, when he opened up his trunk, I don't even think he had any in there. My whole neighborhood smelled like KFC for like a year.
I took them all out because I bought a few of them, and they went to work, and so I took them out to my car, which was an awful mistake. So they were like sitting in my trunk on my car for like hours on end. And then when I took them back out, it was just like, that's all you can smell. It's like this fake herb and spice smell that they try to make out of cardboard mix.
Some say his trunk still smells like it to this day. Giggity.
I'm going to trade the car in.
Right.
Buy a whole
Can I
trunk.
just get the same model, just one that doesn't smell like this?
Just replace the entire trunk, and we're good.
Just tell them that it came like this. Y'all sold me this car smelling like KFC. You got anything else? Any seconds?
No, not really.
Alright. Well, I have one announcement to make. Our next streaming event will be March 7th. Haven't locked down time yet, but we'll probably have that by the next episode. Live here on Twitch, we're going to be doing a NFL Blitz elimination tournament. Just hanging out, eating some like tailgate food, playing NFL Blitz till there's the last person standing. Just having a good time. So it should be fun. I think we're going to play NFL Blitz 2000 on PlayStation 1. It should be a good time. Just a lot of shit talking and a lot of football playing and leg dropping characters after plays are over.
It's unfortunate we won't have any Old Bay hot sauce, but life goes on.
We might. I don't know. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. I know Mr. Bay.
You know.
I know Mr. Olden Bay. Alright, well, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all at Peeridium, as well as our website, Peeridium.com. These episodes will be going up on podcast services in the very near future. I gotta lock that down. But for now, you'll be able to watch it if you need to backtrack or watch it again through our Twitch library. We archive stuff, I think, for 30 days. So check it out there as well. And thanks for watching the show. We're signing off. I'm Outbreak.
I'm Ava.
I'm Kira.
And we'll see you next week.
Later, boys.